Hi there, this is Solitron from Solitron Films, and welcome to the best film of the year so far that I've watched in 2025. First of all, I have to apologise for the video quality, because this might actually be tiny. Having technical problems to begin the year, I'm really going to have to sort out a new camera, because this just isn't ideal for your viewing pleasure. Anyway, we're going to talk about a film from 1978, which, as I say, is my film of the year so far of 2025, 4 days in. It's Monte Hellman's China 9, Liberty 37, which is one of the weirdest titles of all time. It's not like a college football score. It's based on a signpost that we see at a crossroads early on in the film. This is an Italian-Spanish western directed by Monte Hellman, starring Fabio Testi, Warren Oates, Jenny Agutter. Jenny Agutter got about a bit in the 70s. And Sam Peckinpah makes an appearance as a writer of Western myths, which is a lovely little turn. He was probably paid in alcohol, let's be honest. As you can see, this is on a collector's edition DVD, because it's not available on Blu-ray, which is a real shame. It is available on streaming if you like that sort of thing. But this is an absolute gem. Again, if anybody's listening out there that happens to be involved with boutique Blu-ray labels, China 9 Liberty 37 should really get a Blu-ray release. It's an absolutely beautiful film. Shot by Giuseppe Rotono, who shot films for Fellini. He shot All That Jazz, The Leopard for Visconti, Rocco and His Brothers, Baron Munchausen for Terry Gilliam, and Popeye by Robert Altman. The scores by Pino Donaggio, who did the scores for quite a lot of De Palma films like Carrie, Blowout, Dress to Kill, Body Double, Raising Cain. He also did the score for Don't Look Now, The Howling and Piranha for Joe Dante, and did a lot of the scores for Tinto Brass. So it looks beautiful even on the DVD, but it would look even better on Blu-ray. So the story, it's kind of a post-western. I mean, we're in 1978 now, so the height of the spaghetti western is certainly over, and we're getting those melancholy kind of bluesy westerns, and this is certainly that. If you're looking for a rootin' tootin' shootin' western, there's a little bit of it, but it's not really about that. So the film starts with Fabio Testi, one of the legends of the game, on death row waiting to be hung. Not in a good way, but he gets yanked out of the proverbial noose, and he gets a job by the railroad company. So very much like Once Upon a Time in the West, this is partly about, you know, big companies and the corporations starting to squash the little man who went to the West to actually get away from companies and search for their own piece of land. But Warren Oates plays a farmer, the legendary Warren Oates, of course. and he's in the middle of where the railroad wants to go. So Fabio Testi is basically given a job. You can escape death if you kill Warren Oates. So he goes out to Warren Oates' land, this farm, where Warren Oates is married to Jenny Agutter, who was 26 at the time, even though she looks younger. And of course she accidentally loses her clothes quite a bit in this film, as she was prone to do early in her career. And obviously Warren Oates kind of has the feeling that Testi's a gunfighter, and Testi's probably going to, at best, shoot him in the testes. So you have immediately this kind of tension, because Testi's there to shoot Warren Oates, to kill him for the railroad. But slowly over time, Testi grows to like Warren Oates, and Jenny Agutter. Who wouldn't like Jenny Agutter? And he kind of decides, well, maybe I won't actually kill him, and I'll take the consequences. And he grows more attracted to Jenny Agutter, and Jenny Agutter becomes more attracted to Fabio and his testes. And strangely enough, Warren Oates doesn't like this, and you get the impression that this has happened before, because everybody that goes by seems to be somehow drawn to Jenny Agutter and her ability to have her clothes fall off quite a bit. And this suddenly leads to tension between the three of them. Things happen. I'm not going to go into the things that happen, but things that happen, and what you think is going to happen with Oates and Testi happens, but not necessarily Fabio Testi doing it. And then Jenny Agutter ends up running away with Fabio Testi. It happens a couple of times in the film, people who you think are people who you think are perhaps no longer with us, aren't necessarily no longer with us, and it becomes a chase movie with people representing the Warren Oates family trying to catch up with Testi and Agutter, and the railroad trying to catch up with Agutter and Testi. But again, it's not a rootin' tootin' shootin'. Not that it's slow, but it's more about character. Everybody's brilliant in it. And Peckinpah does a lovely turn as this writer who builds up legends in these little books. Testi's really good. Warren Oates is just iconic as always, and Jenny Agutter is actually, you could argue she doesn't have that much to do, but what she does with it, it's another kind of really strong, determined kind of performance by Agutter. She's certainly not there just to have her clothes fall off. There is a strength to her performance, but again, there's just a wonderful sense of melancholy about it. You can sense that it is partly about the little man being crushed by the railroad and what the railroad's going to bring, and that kind of freedom that some of the people went out west to find isn't going to be around for very much longer. It has a wonderful score by Donaggio. Granted, Fabio Testi does have the worst hat in Western history. I think it's in one of the thumbnails I've put up, if you can see it, if the image isn't too wee. It is a terrible hat for a gunfighter. It's quite hilarious. There's a wonderful scene where a bunch of Warren Oates family and friends turn up for a party, and again it's that kind of elegiac melancholy. It's the scene that you might see more often in the kind of revisionist westerns, or the kind of post-westerns, if you like. It's all about character, and you're just happy to spend time with these people as they drink and sing songs and practice shooting and whatever. And after that scene, Testi kind of confesses to Oates that he's kind of changed his mind about killing him, and he'll just take the consequences. It does have a adrenaline fueled shootout at the end, which is done rather well. There's a lovely standoff, I won't say between who. It's just a great little film, and again, I can't believe I've never actually seen it before, but again, it's only available on DVD, but as I said, I think Mubi had it or has it, or it is available on streaming. But by jingo, it needs a physical release. It's the kind of film that maybe Kino Lorber might release, but it would be welcome by anybody. Monte Hellman was one of those directors I don't have that much experience of outside of one-lane blacktop, two-lane blacktop, which I need to rewatch. And I just I for some reason thought Monte Hellman died in like the 80s or something, but he actually lived into the 21st century. But this is an absolutely beautiful little film. Obviously, if you're not into kind of the post spaghetti westerns, it might not be for you if you want a rootin' tootin' heroes and gunfights and all of that. But if you're wanting something a little bit different, beautifully crafted and beautifully acted, and it's got, as I say, it's got legends, Testi from the many forms of Italian genre cinema. Warren Oates, who's just an icon. Jenny Agutter, who's just an icon. And even Sam Peckinpah. You can't ask for much better than that. So thanks so much for watching my best film of the year so far. Please let me know if you've seen China 9 Liberty 37, which again is quite a ridiculous title. I think it's got an alternate title of The Worst Crossroads, or Crossroads of Death or something, which isn't much better of a title. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Please let me know if you've seen China 9 Liberty 37 and what you think of it. And again, apologies for the video quality, but I will try and get that sorted. So this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, slightly baffled, saying farewell.